Good evening, everyone. And tonight is the night of the probably one and only presidential debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, what I'm calling Vibes versus MAGA. And I expect the debate to be full of insults, clownishness, and juvenile behavior on both sides. And I expect there to be very little content um, between either of the candidates. I think what the reason that it's going to be like this is because both campaigns are essentially television advertisements. They're reality TV, they're marketing, and they lack any sort of substance whatsoever. And I think the clear theme of this presidential election is contentlessness, in the sense that there's nothing behind anything that any of the candidates are doing. There's no substance to any of it. I do believe Kamala Harris will win ultimately because I think she has a better campaign. But I there's nothing at all of substance that is going to be said, and this speaks to what this video essay is really about, which is the sense that politics, the experience of the political, is completely divorced from the experience of everyday life. So the political, which means concerning power, the people that actually run the country are not connected to the way that most of the country lives. And so the political is therefore experienced as an advertisement, as a visual representation, a facsimile of power, but it's not the real power. So the people who run the country are behind the scenes. They're working in what's called the deep state, or the alphabet organizations. You know, the American society, the governing portions of American society are essentially big business and intelligence agencies at this point in history. And what people experience as the political is essentially an advertisement with no content, a commercial. And they're selling you something that has nothing to do with the governing of the country, which is Kamala Harris's coolness, her vibes, the fact that she would be the first Black woman president, which means nothing, and Donald Trump's supposed anti-establishment rhetoric, which it also means nothing because Donald Trump is as big a part of the establishment as anybody. He's a fucking billionaire capitalist, for Christ's sakes. He is the establishment. And what people experience as the political is essentially a spectacle. And it's orchestrated television show for the purposes of ensuring that the people never see what's really going on behind the curtain. It's very much like the Wizard of Oz, in which the great and powerful Oz is this, you know, ghost-like creature that supposedly governs society, and the man behind the curtain is just a man. And the people that supposedly govern our society, the people like Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, are that specter that is the great and powerful Oz, when the actual Oz are just people trying to make money and be powerful. And the spectacle masks the actual relationships that exist, which are relationships of employer to employee. And you never meet your employees. The place where your employer, the place where I work, who knows who my employer is? I meet my manager, but he's an employee too. And you never see the actual employer, and that's by design, because if they are separated from the working people, there's no way that the working people can adequately resist it. And it makes it interesting because things have become quite different in terms of the way the working class has to move through society, because unions are now fighting against middle managers. They're not fighting against the actual bosses as they did 75 to 100 years ago. and nobody knows who the bosses are, can even see them. So, yeah, what I expect to see tonight is a childish display of reality TV. And that spectacle is a way to sort of herd people into believing that they are participating in their government when in fact it is governed by an unassailable class of people and their policing agencies that assure that at the end of the day, even if this spectacle breaks down, that the governing people will be still unassailable. They will be defended by intelligence agencies and policing agencies. So I'm not optimistic about tonight. My wife's going to watch it. I'm probably going to put earbuds in and listen to some music. And but if you watch it, watch for what, as I said, the contentlessness of it, the fact that there's no substance behind any of it. It's just vibes and anger, and that's it. So we'll see y'all next time. Peace, y'all.